Hello and welcome to my first episode of the series Jobs for the Girls, and I'm introducing Hannah Remley. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
And Hannah is a firefighter and was a guest at our Crew Women's Day as well, so some of you may recognise Hannah's face. So for this series, really, I wanted to interview people in predominantly what people would recognise as being male roles, and to showcase the great females that are in them roles. So my first question is to everybody, really. What inspired you to be a firefighter? Is it something you always wanted to do?
Yeah, it's something I kind of always had in the background. I was a cadet before I joined the service as for a job as a firefighter, but I did go into childcare for a few years in college and did a bit of health and social care. And I don't get me wrong, I still love kids and I still love doing all the school visits and things, but just decided that wasn't for me as a career path, just to do day in, day out. I wanted to do something that was going to challenge me and that was going to be different every day. And every time we get called out, it's always to something different, and it's definitely a challenge. And I just love helping people, really. So that was kind of the main reason I wanted to do it. And also I just got a push from some of the local firefighters down at Tarpley Station to do it. And so, yeah, I am where I am now.
And how long have you been in the role for then now?
Nearly 5 years on call, so that's part-time. And then nearly 2 years for full-time as well. So I did started on call, did a year, and then I joined an apprenticeship with the fire service for 2 years, and then I got whole time from that, so that's the full-time.
Okay, so I wanted to look at that, and I know you spoke about at that Crew Women's Day, there's quite a few different options in the fire, isn't it, to suit your lifestyle as well. So what's the on-call that you started with? What's that shift pattern look like?
So the on-call, in that sense, it can be any shift pattern you want. You agree it with the fire station. So basically you're available from home, so you've got to live within 5 minutes of the fire station. So check your local station to see if it's on call. And you'll agree with the station your hours of availability. It starts at 50-hour contracts at the minute, which seems a lot of hours, but if you can do a lot of night times, you can get them in even when you're sleeping, and that's just being available at home to attend a call out. And if you get called out, you just got to get to the fire station within 5 minutes. So that's quite a good route for a lot of people to get in. And then, like,
so did you do that as well as another job then at the time?
Yeah, so I joined the on-call. I was still at college at the time when I joined the on-call, but then I finished college because I decided it wasn't for me. So I was doing a lot of other part-time jobs alongside. I was doing a bit of a midday assistant at a primary school. I worked at a bakery, did some bar work. I did quite a lot of different stuff alongside at the time, just because I knew I wanted to be in the fire service, but wasn't sure kind of what I wanted to do as well alongside it. And then in the end, I decided I wanted to join the fire service full-time.
And that sounded really interesting. You said that you started as an apprentice to do it. Yeah. So that's an opportunity for people, is it?
Yeah, definitely. We do apprenticeships. They're either every year or every couple of years now. They're just changing how long they're going to be. And then obviously with everything with coronavirus, that's changed things as well.
Yeah.
So you can keep an eye out on our website or Facebook or Twitter. And as soon as anything becomes available, it all goes on there anyway. But yeah, definitely apprenticeships are definitely a good route for people to get in, especially of a younger age as well. Because I started when I was 18, 19. And a lot of the people on my apprenticeship were around that age, but also we don't limit the age other than you've got to be 18 when you start because of the physical laws around being a firefighter, but there was no upper maximum age limit.
So yeah, so I was going to say that in terms of education, I think there's a public service course, isn't there? But is there anything that does prep people for fire, or is it best going through their apprentice route, do you think?
Either probably the apprentice route or, like you say, the public service course, because as part of that you will look into the fire service. You'll probably go to the local fire station or they'll actually come and meet you as well, because I did. It's obviously not anymore, was South Cheshire College at the time when I was at college. And I know some people that were on the course at the same time as me, but I was doing childcare, and they had the fire service come down to talk to them and things. So that's definitely kind of gives you inspiration and stuff. But if you know anyone of a younger age, maybe high school age, that's interested, get them to join the cadets. That's definitely a good thing to do to just start.
So which cadets was that? Is it the fire cadets?
Yeah, fire cadets. So I did it at Tarpley Fire Station for about 4 or 5 years before I joined the job. And a lot of people I know have done that, have been cadets and then been firefighters. And it gives you an insight into what it is to be a firefighter. They don't do everything we do. just because of obviously strict rules and things, but they do as close as they possibly can, and they get to cook cars and carry hose and things like that. So it gives you a big insight to do so. If you know anyone from a younger age that wants to do it, it's definitely worth helping. But also obviously we do other roles as well. It's not just volunteering. We do volunteering as well, so it's not just the job as well. So you could always volunteer and help out with cadets if you're over 18.
Yeah, I never even thought of the cadets as an option. That's a
Yeah.
really good one, really. So you're because of the cadets and because of your local fire station thing, it seems like it was quite a nice journey into the fire service then.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of support out there, and like I say, just to get me into the on-call, I was just talking to some of the local firefighters at their station open day, and they were just kind of like, you're 18, you live locally, what have you kind of got to lose? And kind of said they'll help me get in with the fitness, because at the time I didn't do anything fitness wise at all. And I got very fit to get in, but you don't, obviously everyone's fitness level's different, so also just come and have a trial of the fitness things as well to see where you're at. And that's what I did, and it made me learn, it helped me to learn where I needed to work at, which was my strength, to get in. And they helped and supported me to do that as well.
So you can build on your fitness, isn't it? I guess that's not anything that would stop you initially.
No, there's plenty of things out there. There's all, if you go on our YouTube page, Cheshire Fire YouTube page, there's actually videos on there to help you get through the physical tests as well. So we're not putting it as a massive barrier. We actually want to help people get through those tests to do it. If this is the career you want, we're willing to help you do that.
It's great. What about family support?
I think to begin with, they were a bit shocked, because I'd always had an insight in wanting to be in the fire service, but like I say, I went down the childcare and health and social care route, and then all of a sudden I was just like, this isn't for me, I want to join the fire service. So I think they were taken back to begin with, but I think they know that once I've put my mind to something, I'll do it. So they were very supportive and got me into it, because obviously a lot of people are like, what if you see something not very nice? But that's inevitable in this job, unfortunately. But like I say, it's just I put my mind to it and I did it, and they were supportive in that way, because they know I'm one of them people that will just get it done.
And what was it? Was there any? Did you know a female firefighter beforehand, or did you have that? You did.
Yeah, at the Tarpley Fire Station, there was a female firefighter called Rebecca, and I'm actually still really good friends with her now. She's moved on. Since she's not at Tarpley anymore, but yeah, she got me involved, and I think for me it was someone to look up to and things like that as well. And she even was going to get me running with her and stuff, but luckily I did it myself, and it just gave me that extra push. But I don't think you don't necessarily need a female to get you in the service. I know a lot of people that have got in just by talking to other firefighters that are male as well. Like I say, we're all very supportive to help people get in, so it's not a barrier in that sense.
I guess I'm really interested in that aspect, that it didn't prevent you from being a firefighter because you knew somebody. But I always think it's really important, and this is part of this series, that females know it's available to them as an option, as a career.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people don't think it is. Or another thing is, a lot of people think we're volunteers as well, which we're not. We get paid. So that's another kind of thing. A lot of people I know just think we're volunteers, which we're not. Within Cheshire we do get paid, so that's obviously another thing that boosts it for a lot of people as well.
And I guess that you do all what your colleagues do.
Yeah, no, don't do anything different, don't get any extra help in that sense. I do everything everyone else does. You've got to pass a fitness test, whoever you are, male, female or anything, so there's kind of, we'll help you through it, like obviously because we have sight tests and stuff, so if people are colourblind they do make exceptions now, and it's based on a case by case basis now. So there is exceptions in that sense, but nothing to do with gender specific roles. There's no difference at all.
And you would respond to any emergency like anybody would.
Yeah.
And I think you just touched on that in terms of the fire. I think people forget, like a paramedic and like the police, you do see some things that, you know, will be quite horrific for people.
Yeah.
But I guess I definitely learned this from the police service, that you're massively supported in that.
Yeah, definitely. We have a lot of help. Just talking to each other that have been to the call out is one of the main things, because some people might say it's cheesy, we are like one big family at the same time. So we're all there to support each other, But also we do have things in place as well. We have mental health people in place, and also if it did get that bad and you needed counselling and things, they are there in place as well. So there's a lot of support within the service now, to kind of say it's okay to not be okay if you've been to a job and it's affected you.
And I guess you touched on it before, but your job must be so varied because, you know.
Oh yes, definitely. I think a lot of people think we just go to fires, but actually we go to more of other jobs now than just fires, because we do so much prevention work. So we go to a lot of road traffic collisions, and gain entries as well. So if someone's, say, some elderly person's fallen in the house, and for an example, and the paramedics can't get in, we'll go, and actually we've got specific tools to gain entry into properties to give them the access as well. So they're one of the main things we go to now. But like I say, we go to animal rescues and floodings and different things. We go to anything really now.
And you go to some great events, because you attended the event that I hosted.
Yeah,
so you know, it's showcasing the fire service as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We get out as much as we can, and also there's networks in place. Like I'm the local representative for Cheshire for the Women in the Fire Services network as well, so that's also something for people to look into. They've got their own website, and it's definitely something to look into. There's a lot of support out there now, not just in our own service but other services as well. So if anyone's ever struggling, we've got a big network out there now that you can speak to other services and people that have probably been through something similar to help you get through it.
And it doesn't sound like it, but do you or have you experienced any challenges in your role, particularly gender specific, I mean, in that question?
I think for me, one of the main things I say to people is just getting in is the strength for women, because don't get me wrong, now there is a lot more women that use weights in the gym, but when I first went in the gym at 18, it's the first time I'd been in a gym, for one, and two, there wasn't many women using the weights at the time, and it's just that upper body strength, because you're lifting ladders in ways that you wouldn't normally lift something over your head. So for me, that was kind of the main struggle for me. Don't get me wrong, male candidates do struggle with it as well, but I've noticed when I've been helping people out with the recruitment as well, a lot of women struggle with the ladder lift, just because you're not used to lifting that type of weight in the way we do over your head. But like I say, come and have a go when we've got the recruitment pod out. It's all on our website or social media pages, and just have a go, and we can give you advice on ways to get in the gym or things that you could lift at home just to build up that strength and get your body used to it, because that's the main thing. Your body's just not used to it. So it's not always gender specific, but like I say, a lot of it is, because if you do go in the gym, if you look, a lot of the time it is more males that are using the weights, but obviously now females are starting to use them a lot more as well. But I think for some people it's just being a bit kind of scared as well. I know when I first went in the gym, I didn't want to lift weights in front of some of the men there, because I thought I look really puny and I've not got any kind of weight behind me yet or muscle mass. So I think to begin with, it is a bit daunting and scary, so you kind of need that push sometimes.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it sounds like that would be something that a male might struggle with as well. So once you know what you've got to do, you can do it. So that's a really good point in that way. And I guess my last question on this kind of questioning is, what is it you love about the job?
I think for me, it's helping people more than anything. I've always kind of been a person that'll help anyone, but especially, you're going to someone, sometimes it's probably one of their worst times in life, and all we can do is whatever we can to make that better for them. And unfortunately, sometimes we can't always save people, and we can't, it is part of the job, but you're just going to do the best you can to help that person in their time of need. So I think for me, that's kind of the main thing. And like I say, just the variety of the job, you're always going to something different.
And I think that fire service, you have a lot of the other jobs as well, in terms of are you some basic first aid that you're trained in as well?
Yeah, so right? It's changed now. It was BTAC, so it was basic trauma care, but it's now changed to RTAC, so just below paramedics. So that's trauma care, so like mass bleeding and things. So it's for us more than anything, if we go to a road traffic collision and we're first on scene and dealing with that person. But again, we can go to a variety of other incidents that people are harmed. Like I say, when we're gaining entry now, sometimes the ambulance isn't always there straight away, or that the paramedics need extra help because there's only 2 of them, whereas there's at least 4 of us on a pump. So they might need the extra hands, so we've got that care in place, so we're able to help them and also just help anyone if we're first on scene as well.
And I think just from that trauma side that you might have to deal with, that's why it's so important to have such a close team, I would imagine.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's
okay, last two final questions that I'm going to ask everybody. Who is it that inspires you?
Okay, I think for me, it's probably not just one person that inspires me. I think it's quite a lot of people that are just defying the barriers that are there. Like I say, for me, when I first started, there was one female on the station, but she unfortunately left just as I joined, actually got in. So for me, it's kind of just pushing those barriers. That I worked with a lot of men on my own to begin with, and it was scary, but I pushed. And I think there's a lot of other females out there, especially within the fire service for me, that are of management and things, and I just think, do you know what, you've pushed through, and I'd love to do that one day as well. So I think it's a general amount of people really that just keep pushing every day to be better in themselves.
Okay, so I've been looking forward to this question. What's your favourite song or artist?
Okay, I had to have a good think of this one, because I like anything. I like musicals and anything really. But okay, in the end, I decided on Meghan Trainor, Better When I'm Dancing, because it's one song that always picks me up. No matter what I'm doing, I might be having a bad day, I will always start having a bit of a jiggle and having a bit of a dance to it. And it always picks me up, and I just think, do you know what, get it out there and let some other people enjoy it too, because it's not played that often anymore.
Spread the love.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you touched on a few things there actually that I'll go and find the information from. I think the Fire Cadets is a really good one for some of the young people that we support. Obviously, we've got Cheshire Fire as well. And then I will put on the link for the Prince's Trust, because that's run by yourself.
Yeah, we run that as well. That's another great course.
Are you involved in any of that as your fire, or?
Not at this moment in time. I did do the course as part of my apprenticeship, so that's why I can say it's a great course, because I've personally done it. But also we will help them out sometimes, because they'll come on station. A lot of them are based out of stations, so we'll help them anyway, and obviously we'll show them the ropes and things, and sometimes they will come and have a chat with the station staff. But personally not at this moment in time, obviously with everything that's going on. We've not got those courses running at the moment in time, and also cadets isn't running as well. So if you're interested, look online, and it'll put you in the right direction. But like I say, at this moment in time they're not running, but fingers crossed, things will be opening back up soon.
And then you mentioned the Women in Fire as well, didn't you? As a network.
They've got their own web page, so there's a lot of information on there too.
Oh, thank you ever so much. That was really, really good.
Okay, no worries. Thanks for having me.
This will be shared, and obviously I'll share it with yourself as well. So we just want people to consider it as a career, really, don't we? And it sounds extremely rewarding. So
yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Thanks, Hannah. Thanks for your time.
Okay, no worries.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks.